Hi, and welcome, and thank you for joining me while I'm waiting the glue to dry on my sanding block, and I'll explain why I'm making such a long sanding block. Anyway, I've been doing a lot of videos on the amazing and wonderful board bows that I make. I wanted to get this out there that I also do stave made bows, of course. They're more expensive. Just because it takes a long time to work something down to where, say, the beginnings of a board bow would be. In this case, this is Juniper, Modoc style, because it is a pyramid bow. It's going to have multiple layers of sinew on it, so it is going to be reflexed, it's going to be recurved, and, you know, I'm fighting the urge to do those bent tab hoopa tips on this, but it's not a hoopa style bow, so it just wouldn't work out right. What I had to do, because the stave, which is beautiful, look at this straight thing. The stave came to me thick enough to make multiple bows, so I did like split it down the inseam. So I've got heartwood that I'm going to make the next bow out of. The only thing, the extra step I had to do is I had to work it down to a growth ring. And I'm sure you're familiar with, if you have Osage, or you have mulberry, or you have black locust, or red elm, you have to work it down to the heartwood, which means you have to work it down to a growth ring. The difference being, this is very soft, and unlike those other woods, the growth rings are crazy thin. I mean crazy thin. It almost looks like you in a way. And so instead of using my draw knife or a scraper like I would on the other bows, I sanded it down. I sanded the edges so I could get a look at these really hard to see growth rings, and then found the lowest one, and then started from there sanding. And just like anything, instead of trying to skip 8 growth rings, you know, all at once and get it down to your target, I kind of chase it a little bit. I will get it down to the target growth ring, wherever that is, and then start sanding it down until I get to within 1 growth ring of the target, and then take that great number of steps, move it away, and then get it down to my target growth ring and continue until I get it down there. I wasn't going to risk using a scraper or a draw knife on something that had such fine growth rings and was so soft. I love sanding anyway. Sanding is the greatest thing in the world, the 80 grit, for fine work. You don't want to work too fast, although it only took me maybe 2 or 3 hours to get it down here. Now the big old sanding block I have, because it's a pyramid bow, I want to make it look very pyramidal. And so I am, because now I reduced it a little bit. I scribed it with my scribe, giving myself quite a bit of leeway. Reduced it to the point where I can sand this face shape really easily. There's not a lot of material to remove, and it's pretty close. And that's where this comes in. I'm going to clamp this thing down and very carefully just run this down here on either side until I get that done. I could certainly use a smaller sanding block and eyeball it, but I am not going to risk having to reduce the width of it by going inside my line a little bit. This is going to be just dead perfect down here, and I think, really, I believe that if somebody's paying, you know, a price for one of my stave-made bows, I'm going to do everything possible to give them perfection, and so that's why the crazy long sanding block. What other notes do I have? I guess that's really it. I better take this into the house where it's warmer so it can finally dry. Stick it straight down on the floor or something like that and weight it down. Oh. I guess this is no consequence. Before I get a shape for something, and I save this, save all my templates, I work them out on heavy cardstock, and you notice it's folded in the center here so I can get symmetry. Just so I can scribe it with a fine Sharpie. And the nice thing about the fine Sharpie is it goes outside the lines, so I don't get to where I want it. And I guess that's about it. I rambled enough. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions about anything, I would be happy to answer them. Come on, glue dry. Dry, 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 so I can continue. See you later.